Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. To all you Akim and Aqua that are watching, first and foremost, call halal Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone who through the Holy Spirit continue to teach us this truth. Alright, this is Nama with DC Camp. And, boy, this, when we say the curses are falling upon our enemy, per Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, we really mean it. In fact, let's go to that to kick things off. All right. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. All right. Here we go. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7, it says, and the Most High Yahweh, thy power, talking about Israel now, thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuteth thee. All right, for all you jakes that through all the time that we've been here in this country, all right, but especially now with the MOTB coming about and this Dovik 19, all right, or Divock 19, Salaki. All right. Wow. Like, why? I'm talking about for all you jakes that are caught up in this. Anyway, it says calls to veterans suicide hotlines are up since fall of Kabul. This is by Shannon Vavra, the Daily Beast. All right. It says in the chaotic final days of the war in Afghanistan, veterans have been huddling around kitchen tables and living room command centers trying to evacuate allies and interpreters who worked for the U.S. These emotional days and desperate evacuation efforts are taking a heavy psychological toll on veterans, with calls to suicide hotlines up and veterans of the war in Afghanistan openly admitting that they're facing some of their darkest days. All right. See, here's the thing. For those of you that just don't get it, you'll make an argument and talk about us out there on the highways and byways serving the Most High, and you'll say, look at those idiots out there, and accuse us of misplaced faith, blind faith. But look at you. Your faith is in what? Man. All right. Let's go to Psalms. Let's see. I believe it's one. Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's see. This is Psalms 146 and 3. It says, put not your trust in princes, nor in the Son of Man, in whom there is no help. All right. His breath goeth forth, he returneth to his earth. In that very day his thoughts perish. Happy is he that hath the Most High Yahweh, the God or power of Jacob, for his help, whose hope is in the Most High Yahweh, his power, which made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that therein is, which keepeth truth forever. Which, verse 7, which executeth judgment for the oppressed, which we are, which giveth food to the hungry, the Most High Yahweh looseneth the prisoners. And that's what we're praying for. Get the hell up out of here. But again, back to this. Talking about Jake, he puts his trust in the enemy. It goes on to say, one of those people is Mark Longley, who worked for the Department of Defense in Afghanistan from 2012 through at least 2014. He died by suicide on August 14th, his friends told the Daily Beast. One of Longley's former colleagues, Andrew Strutt, who worked on cybersecurity for the Army in Iraq and Afghanistan, said he didn't know exactly what triggered his friend's suicide. All right. But I know that he believed in what we did out there, and he was a hard worker, and he talked about his wife all the time, and he loved her incredibly. Who gives a fuck? The thing is, you go to these other people's countries, you sell them this bullshit democracy, you give these people this wine, this philosophy, this doctrine. It fucks their people all up. Now you're talking just shy of 20 years here. All right. Now the women are all up thinking that they deserve this and that when beforehand they had order. Now, I haven't seen it personally, but I bet it's LGBTQ, whatever else letter, running rampant there. See this poison, this so-called democracy? All right, everybody sees America for the poison, all right, for the decadence, all right, for the wickedness that it stands for. And yet you got these idiots here talking about, well, they can't believe that America would do this. All you have to do is ask us. What have you done to us? We're that shining example of people you just fucked over for centuries. All right, with empty promises. And all you can do at the end of the day, oh, we gave them welfare, they'll be all right. So yeah, this is the time that it's good to be alive in order to see the downfall of our enemy, as Sirach 25:7 says. All right, because these motherfuckers, they're not gonna cop to anything, especially when it comes to Jake. All right, we can give you Jeremiah and 15:5. You know, who ask how thou doest? The answer is no one, and that includes these other nations. All right, but that's all right. Let's get some more scripture here. Let's go to Obadiah. Verse 15. And it says, for the day of the Most High Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. Yeah, that's you too, the head heathen, Esau. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All the confusion and dissent among other nations, and you just sit back and laugh. You know that Habakkuk 2 and 15 and 16. In fact, let's get that. All right. This is Habakkuk chapter 2. Go straight to the point. It says, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink. Remember I was talking about that philosophy, that wine. That's what it's, you have to be, careful, because as you go up further at the beginning of this, it tells you that. Verse 5, well, let's start at 4. Behold, we're talking about this red devil, this so-called white man. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Talking about the Israelites. Yea, also, here it is, because he transgresseth by wine, that wine is his philosophy, his doctrine, i.e. democracy. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. This man wants everything. He wants to leave you with nothing. That goes into the grape gatherers. I go back to Obadiah. He says, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. All right, think about what's going on now. This motherfucker causes this pandemic. All right, people lose their jobs, their livelihoods, and now they're complaining because they want you to go back to work, but there's no place to work unless you get the jibber jabber. All right. You can see this has all been, well, at least in their eyes, thought out, planned out. So they can't come down and say, well, the government is forcing you to do this. No, they're going through other channels because they know this is not going to stand up in court if it's directly challenged. So they're telling employers, they're telling businesses in the private sector, well, you know, if you don't do this, we're going to twist your arm in various other ways, you know, and you have to force your workers. It just came down the pike, I think it was yesterday now, it's after 12 midnight. The president says what? If you have 100 or more employees, they have to get the jibber jabber. So you see how underhanded this shit all is. It's telling they need this to happen because this has to do with the new monetary system that they want to establish. Your body is going to become part of that, and that's what this jibber jabber is all about. It has nothing to do with no fucking virus. All right, and a lot of you won't admit that you've been conned, that you've been sold some bullshit. All right, you're so proud. For those of you that got that shit, wow. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in now. Even though they tried to turn around and say, we, the ones that had common sense, and said, wait a minute, something's not right. So they turned and made us look like the bad guy, when in fact, it's you stupid motherfuckers that went and got it. Anyway, back to Habakkuk, Salakia. Habakkuk 2 and 15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also. Meaning, as it comes to our people, what do? They knew we were Israelites. What do? You read the Bible, you will be severely punished if not killed. Why? Who else did they give a heavily redacted Bible to on this planet? Why? These are questions you should ask yourself. If you're not afraid, because a lot of you kind of like, man, why these so-called black people always say they never get nowhere? Well, those are the curses. Duh. And it says in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 40, I believe it's 45, that these curses would be an identifier as to who the Israelites are. I believe it's 45. Yeah. And 46. It says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yahweh, thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. So we're being chastised, we're being punished, we're being whipped back into shape, we're being tried in the fire. Nobody else is. Everybody else prospers. That's how you should be looking at it. And it will help make you realize that those people over there in our land pretending to be us are bullshit artists. Who was responsible for financing the slave trade, you fucking idiots? Like, big old clue. They went after a particular people. They didn't go after all and any and all Africans, so-called Africans. You dumb motherfuckers. They didn't call us Africans. They said Negroes for sale. Another clue. It just, I'm not trying to get off topic, but when you think about this, and you know now the history as it relates to the scriptures, yeah, it ticks you off. But at the same time, you have to realize this is our fault in this piece of shit so-called white man who is the nation of Edom in the Bible, the descendant of Esau, Jacob's brother. All right. He's just a tool of the Most High, all right, for the Most High to exercise his rage through him on us. All right, that's all he is. 46. And they shall be upon thee, on us, for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed, what? Forever. Now here doesn't mean, in the proper context, it doesn't mean forever and ever and ever and all eternity now. Just to let you know. All right. Okay, let's go back to where I was. Let's see. Whoops. How did that happen? All right. It goes on to say, wait a minute. Yeah, I almost skipped over it. It says, the VA told the Daily Beast that as of August 25th, the Veterens Crisis Line had received approximately a 6% increase in calls since August 13th, when news broke that the Taliban had gained control of half of Afghanistan's provincial capitals. On August 16th, 3 days later, the day after Kabul fell to the Taliban, the Veterans Crisis Line received a nearly 12% increase in calls compared to the volume of calls last year on the same day. On August 25th, the call line had a 17% increase compared to the previous year. Miller clarified that the VA doesn't know if the uptick is directly attributable to the situation of Afghanistan, and attributing any suicide to one particular cause vastly oversimplifies complex mental health challenges. Whatever. But it's clear that many veterans are struggling to watch a country that they fought in for 20 years now fall to the Taliban. It wasn't about those people. It was about that drug over there and the natural resource. The drug, of course, being opium. All right, and that natural resource, and I believe a pipeline is being built somewhere over there. All right. But this is what they get. If you want to read the rest of it, I've made the point, this is good news. Because this is the Most High dismantling this motherfucker. All right? In any and every way possible. It is beautiful. It's like watching a train wreck. And it's not in slow motion. That's the good thing about this shit is speeding up. And this devil knows his time is short. Revelation 12 and 12. That's why you're seeing things going the way that they're going. All right. Hey, so once again, I'm on, a little bit more to this, but let's see if, of course, there's no comments. Damn it. All right. So once again, this has been calls to veteran suicide hotlines are up since the fall of Kabul in Afghanistan. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So once again, to any and all who watched this, I hope you were edified. This is all done and chance of waking up the hopeful elect. All right. So with that, shalom.